All right, what you're gonna watch right now is a clip of Ice-T on a podcast, Big Boy podcast. He's talking about sometimes you just gotta say no to certain situations because their problems become your problems when you in fact say yes and you decide to be the good friend, the good brother, sister, wife, husband, and whatever other relationships you may have. That being said, I'm gonna play the clip and I'm gonna give my 2 cents on it.
When you say yes, you turn someone else's problems into yours.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's true.
Give you an example. Say your name again, big homie.
That's Jose.
Jose says to me, Ice, can you take me to the airport? I say, yeah, man, I got you. I got to get up. I got to get gas in my car. I got to be on time. I got to pick Jose up. I got to get him to the airport. And guess what? If I'm late, he gets to be mad at me.
Right.
I just turned his problem
into yours.
So sometimes you just got to say, nah, man, I'm not the one. I can't do that right now.
The topic is it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no, man. This right here, I can completely agree with. Sure, he's talking about something else. His is more your problems were not there up until you decided to say, sure, I'll do it. And then now whatever problem they had is now yours because you have now adopted it. Where I want to take it to is just say no. Just a simple, why can't we just say no? Why go through all the hoops and mental gymnastics of just say no? Just literally say no. And honestly, every single time we say yes when we really want to say no can be soul crushing. It's hard to say no, literally. Every single time we're asked by friends, family, work, church, etc., we do this weird thing in our heads where we're guilt tripping ourselves. The person asking us didn't even guilt trip us. Although they can, we'll get into that too. Nobody asked us to guilt trip ourselves, yet we do it. We're just there. We're telling ourselves that it's, if I say no, then I'm a bad person. Or I'm a bad friend. Or I'm not supporting the church, so that makes me bad on the inside. We don't support our spouse's career, hobbies, and more BS hypotheticals on how, we're bad. And because we're afraid of becoming that, we inadvertently become the martyr. Which, as you all know, may lead to resentments later on. It may lead to just you being angry with them, being angry with yourself, or you feel like you're always at this tug of war inside of your head, or your tug of war with these people. The teed of ice is right. We say yes, and then boom, we're stuck or we're trapped in this commitment we didn't even want to commit to in the first place. And it's too late. It's too late to back out because now we already said yeah. Me and my big fat mouth blaming myself again. So once again, in our innermost thoughts, we tell ourselves, damn, man, I wish I was stronger. God, why do I keep saying yes? Here's a popular one. Man, I wish I wasn't so nice. I used to tell myself these all the time. That's how I kind of wrote down those quotes for the for this episode. I used to tell myself all the time, I got to stop being nice. No, for real, man. This year, I'm going to stop being nice. Like, it became like a New Year's resolution or almost like a monthly, like, all right, but by the end of October, I'm going to stop being nice and I'm going to stop saying yeah to everything. Like, people don't always need my ride. They have other friends. Anyways, we all want a way out, but it's too late. And then what happens? Now you're locked in. Still not wanting to go, and now you're trying to think of a good excuse. A good lie, a good old lie you can get out of the thing you already agreed to. And then what? You end up feeling guilty about the lie that you were about to tell or the lie that you just told because, well, you're guilty because you know it's wrong to make a commitment and then break that commitment. Was it a contract? No, but it was an agreement. And the agreement was the commitment, which you deviated from. Oh, also, what are they going to think about me now? They're probably going to say I'm unreliable, but that's not fair. All I do is help. I'm always reliable. I'm the yes man. That's why I'm in this position I'm at. I can't say no. So why would they look at me this way? They can't be mad at me for this one time. Man, I bet you they're going to say blah, blah, blah. Insert wherever your brain typically tells you. Fast forward, congratulations. Your get out of jail free card was just approved. You got to, you got to pass go and collect your $200, but you still feel bad. You feel bad because you're a good person. And now you feel like you owe them something. Hey, I dodged this event or activity, but because I did, I'll probably just say yeah to the next one or the next time they ask for a favor or ask me to do something, which ironically gets you right back to square one. You being unable to say no or feeling like you can't say no. It's relatable, yeah, but it's crazy. In the words of Ice-T, you mean to tell me you were running away from saying yeah and still ended up saying yeah through the hoops of fire? American Ninja Warrior obstacles, and you still locked in on another yes, ma'am, yes, sir situation. You can also quote Thanos for something like this. Remember the, you could not live with your own failure. And where did that bring you? Back to me. So don't you see, you inevitably ended up feeling a similar guilt feeling whether you do it now or later. A similar feeling of being responsible for a problem that wasn't even yours to begin with. And now you're setting yourself up for failure in a form of almost like a future layaway for yet another yes. That you're likely going to want to say no or try to think of another lie to get out of that one as well. My question to you now is, when does that cycle break? When do you plan on being more mature enough to communicate effectively? Sidebar. Notice how I didn't say man up or woman up or all that irrelevant internet talk, because it will take this conversation off track. And let's get back on topic. So instead, we are maturing people. Humans. So if not now, when? When do you plan on communicating better? Yes, people are pushy AF. And sometimes, yeah, they can be manipulative in their approach when you're being asked for a favor. Or asking to help with whatever. And that's on them. But you also got to realize, you make yourself the target. You've made yourself the pushover. You make yourself way too damn accessible. Stop picking up the phone. Nobody said you got to pick up the phone or answer these text messages or phone calls. I don't care if it's your mom, dad, brother, church, friends, homies, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to answer every single time, especially when they give you a text message. You clearly see that they're asking for yet another favor or another thing that you didn't want to do or don't want to do or don't ever plan on doing. And you know what this reminds me of? Good example right here. Work. These people would make you feel so important whenever you would be the one entrusted with the key. It's almost like this newfound privilege that nobody had, and they would tell you, "Hey, don't let anybody know that you're a key holder. That's very important." They make you feel all special on the inside. This is like a perk that you almost end up feeling like having these thoughts of, "Wow, so they really do see me pull my weight around here." I am genuinely happy, or at least feel happy, that they pulled me aside from people, my other coworkers who were even here before me, and they didn't get a key. I got the key. Also, does this mean that the next step is I might be manager? Dang, this is cool. High expectations now. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, and if you didn't know by now, the key I'm referring to, of course, is a key to the store or office or wherever you work. And it's either by itself or it's accompanied by a safe. The safe key already has its own can of worms that I'm not even going to delve into. But instead, I want to focus on the key to the store. You feel it's genuine. It may be true from your employer's point of view at the beginning. But then suddenly that all changes. Now your manager is telling you, "Hey, look, I'm not staying late." All of a sudden, they got emergencies around closing time, so they dip. Or they have things they have to do because their higher up said that they have to go to them, and then you hear it. You hear the question you will now grow to hate every time they ask you. And it goes a little something like this. "Hey, you have your key, right?" Something so simple yet so effective, you're going to learn how angry it makes you. And so, of course, at the beginning, you answer with such positive, "Of course, I'm a responsible employee. Of course I have my key." This innocent tone of a great employee. "Yep, I sure do." Well, guess what? Those closing jobs are now yours. And that's an almost nightly basis. It's going to be like that on Thanksgiving. It's going to be like that on Christmas, Memorial Weekend, Super Bowl. Yours, yours, yours from now on. Everybody who doesn't have a key gets to go home on time. But not you, because you're special. We trust you. We don't trust those other guys. They might steal from the store. They might be, eating up eating up the time that they're in, clocking out late on purpose, or doing the closing jobs extra slow. They're going to be stealing. Not you. We trust you. You could have absolutely said no to that key. You could have refused it with the same energy you used to lie and get out of other commitments, but nah. Now you're stuck long term being that wonderful little key holder. Who's your good boy? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. The point is, you keep saying yes and finding yourself doing short and long-term things, but still haven't recognized the issue. It's you. Toughen up. Say no. It's okay to say no sometimes. Obviously, you are unreliable, and I won't reach out to you if you're telling me no every single time. But you got to find that balance. Let's pose another question. Where's the guilt coming from? And here's some more questions to piggyback off of that. Is it in your heads? Why? Why the guilt? Why feel bad if it wasn't your problem to begin with? I don't need to go to the airport. They needed to ride to the airport. I didn't have to take them. There's Uber. There's Lyft. They have other friends. They have family. Why are you feeling sorry? Yes, you're a good person, but that doesn't mean, just okay with my own responsibilities. It's okay to refuse the responsibilities that are already outside of your own. Your plate is probably full enough. You probably know that they're probably not even going to spot you that gas money, that's a side problem. That's not even the main problem. So there are little nuances to these things. Are people pushy? Yeah. Yes, people are pushy, and some people are definitely going to make you feel guilty on purpose. Some people are going to bring up that, yeah, but what about that one time I helped you with blank? Hey, you know how I helped you out? That I was just wondering if maybe you could help me. You could scratch my back too. So tomorrow I need to get to work, and I don't have anybody to take me to work. Taking them to work is not going to be a 5-minute thing. It's going to be an ordeal. You're going to have to jump on the highway, or it's going to be, even if it is 20 minutes, and you just don't want to wake up that early because you planned on sleeping in. Don't answer the call. Don't answer the text. You don't know them an apology. Hey, look, I didn't see your text. That's it. Hey, man, I plan on sleeping in. You can even text back if you want to and just give your, hey, look, I plan on sleeping in. At least you're honest. If they want to look at you a different way, or they want to look at you sideways and be like, wow, then that's fine too. But ultimately, you got to have the ability to say the word no. And if that doesn't help you, well, then think about this. Think about how crappy your self-esteem gets because you're constantly bowing down to people, constantly feeling like, damn, man, all I do is say no. Like, it just... And now you're down. You put yourself there. So try to help your self-esteem out as well. And I don't know why, but for some reason, it is taboo. It will always be taboo for some reason. Here's another example, which I can be devil's advocate now. Well, if I always say no to my husband, if I always say no to my wife, or if I always say no to a close family member, that's bad. I shouldn't do that. Or my best friend. That's my best friend. I get that, but again, that's you doing that little mental gymnastics in your head, trying to justify why you can't say no, ultimately feeling guilty, ultimately feeling like the martyr, ultimately feeling angry with yourself or with that person, and that person didn't even do anything. All they did was ask you a simple question. Can you help me out? You didn't have to say no. You didn't have to say yeah. You could say whatever you want. Just make sure it's balanced. So you don't end up hating that person. So you don't end up being angry at yourself. Because that's what we always do, ultimately. It's okay. It's okay to say no. Even if it is your mom or dad or whoever. If you don't got the gas, don't go. If you don't got the feeling of going, don't go. If you know they're a friend, but maybe they're like a toxic friend or something, or they just gossip about your other friends, then don't go. Don't do what you feel like you don't want to do. Church is another example. Church will make you feel, and I don't even think they're doing it on purpose. There are some pushy people, yes. But outside of the pushy people, sometimes they just ask you, hey, look, when you plan on serving, ha ha ha. They meant nothing by it, but you took it as oh my gosh, if I don't serve the church, then I'm a bad person. I should be wanting to help. I should be wanting to serve. I should at least give them like, 1 day out of the week or an hour or two. Why do you feel that way? I said no to church so many times, it's not even funny. Does that make me a bad person? Depending on who you ask, yes. Depending on who you ask, they'll say no. What does, no correlation. How does one equal that? If I don't want to, or if I don't want to be around certain people, if I don't want to be around what would feel to me as a chore, whereas maybe the congregation feels like, oh, this doesn't feel like a chore to us, though. This feels like it fills me up on the inside. It makes me feel good about myself. Okay, it may not have that same effect on me and you, though. They feel that way. I don't feel that way. I feel like I'm giving up my free time. Or I feel like I don't want to do this because maybe my upbringing was different than theirs and I don't have that Holy Spirit vibe, helping out. Because at the end of the day, it's a job. Or, hey, even going on that job thing. Some people, for some reason, I understand it. Some people will think that doing this is almost like unpaid labor. I'm essentially doing a job, whether it's from 8 in the morning, the first, service or the first 2 services from 8 to 9:30ish, and then which the 10 o'clock starts or the 11. I'm here for the 8 o'clock, I'm here for the 11 o'clock, and I'm still here in between. I'm putting in hours, but I'm not getting paid for it. Then that's your mentality. You're okay to have that. You're not right, you're not wrong. But it's okay to say no. Just say no a lot more. I promise you, you'll feel more liberated. I promise you'll feel more free. Of going back to the husband and wife, there are some times that you can't say no. Hey, babe, I'm going to go to the Dolphins game. Hey, babe, I'm going to go to the New York Giants game. Do you want to come? No? Okay, well, I would really appreciate it if you do come. I would like you to go. Why don't you go with the boys? Well, because I want to go with my wife. Darn it. Well, guess what? You're going to be at that you're going to be at that football game now. Because they want you to go and they said it's important to them. So you probably shouldn't say no to that one. Now, you don't have to go to all 10 games or all 15 games. But pick and choose your battles. Men, same thing as you. Same thing applies to you. There's going to be some times where you don't want to go watch that Broadway show. It's boring. Just like she thinks your sports are boring. UFC, I love UFC. I would love to go to more UFC events or just UFC events in general. But I know women don't like violence. Why would they want to watch, people rip each other's head off at the Coliseum? It's boring. It's violent. I don't approve of this. So they probably will say no. And it's fine. You don't, again, have to go to every single Broadway show that they like. Or every little dance class that they would want you to go to. But if it is important to them and it's going to fill their cup and it's going to make them happy, those would be the situations where you probably can't say no. Or you shouldn't say no. I mean, if you want this to last. But ultimately, don't be afraid to say no. It's your life. You only got one life to live. Be okay with saying no. Take that guilt outside of your brain, outside of your heart, outside of your body. Release that guilt. Release that struggle you have within you that tells you, I'm a bad person, I'm unworthy, I'm horrible, how dare I? Damn, I'm a real piece of crap. You're not. You're you and this is your life. Do with it as you please.